What's happening, guys? My name is Anthony, and in today's video I'm going to be helping you guys improve your lap times around the Hungary ring. So if you're new to this channel and you don't really know how my track guides work, I go around the lap slowly, and this time I'll actually be showing you guys telemetry data from RaceNet, just showing you my inputs throughout the lap, and then afterwards I will play the hot lap in real time so that you can see in true time how to tackle the Hungary ring. Now, I do have an announcement at the end of the video, so make sure you guys stay tuned throughout this video because that announcement is very important and it's to do with the setup spreadsheet. So without further ado, let's get into this track guide. And I'd like to thank everybody who's on the screen right now for being channel members. If you do want to support the content past just liking and subscribing, make sure to click the join button underneath the video to learn more. Okay then guys, so coming up to the final corner, you want to set yourself up for this one, especially because it's a long straight going up to turn one, and in the race, turn one's going to be pretty much the only solid overtaking opportunity you're going to get. So yeah, for the qualifying, set yourself up and then get your foot on the throttle as soon as you can, and then open up DRS and you're bombing it straight to turn one and starting a lap around the Hungary ring. So this corner is a very heavy braking zone. As I said, one of the only overtaking opportunities on the track. You can brake very, very deep into this corner, especially if you're on the outside of the track. If you're on the inside, you'll probably want to brake a little bit sooner, but around about 70 meters probably, or something like that, is where you can brake going into this corner. And you want to shift down into fourth gear. You want to hit a later apex, not obviously a super late apex, but you want to turn in a little bit later to hit the apex a little bit later, because you can't use as much of the track as you could before, simply because the car will unsettle itself. So you want to hit a late apex so you can get your foot on the throttle and still get, you know, a decent amount of traction. Open up DRS, and then you want to try and stick towards the right hand side, because this next corner is a left hander. You're going to be in 7th gear going into it. I believe they have updated, and by they I mean Codemasters, I believe they have updated this 50 meter board so it sits back a little bit. So as you're coming up to the 50 meter board, probably around 60 to 55 meters is where you want to brake. Down into 4th gear, and you want to hug the curbing here as much as you can. Try not to touch it though, because these grey curbings can unsettle the car and they will spin it. You will see all the telemetry data pop in and out of the video as I'm going through this slow lap here for what I'm actually doing with my inputs. This corner, very, very tricky, because you want to basically be flat out by this point, and in order to be flat at this point, you want to be as close to the curb as possible so that you're not losing the car, but at the same time you do need to try and bring the car back to the middle of the track, because you've got a right hander here, and if you don't take this right hander flat, you're going to be losing a lot of time. So yeah, take this flat, and then you can use the curbing here. Again, this track is very precision based, because a lot of the time you're going to find yourself in a situation where you need to place half of your car, or at least half of the tires, on a small patch of grey strip here. You can see the grey strip is not very wide at all, but it does provide the most grip. So yeah, you want to be super precise with your inputs in order to be able to do that. And then coming up to the end of sector 1, beginning of sector 2, just as you're coming up to this black box, or just afterwards, whatever suits your fancy, however confident you are going into this corner, 7th gear, little dab on the brakes, you'll see that once again in the telemetry. Down into 6th gear, you can't use this curbing much at all, because it will unsettle the car, it will shoot you out, it will spin you, it will do whatever. So you want to really just touch it with your left hand tires, and then back on the throttle, using as much track as you can. And then as you can see, this next corner, very similar to what we've just gone through before, is a right hander. So you're going to need to bomb the car back onto the left hand side of the track. And then as you're coming up to, I want to say the black box, yeah, probably roughly around about where the black box is, you want to start braking and turn it into the corner. Since it's a very deep entry, you really want to be super smooth and super light with your braking here. Into 4th gear, once again trying to hug the curbing as much as possible without touching it, or else it will spin the car out. Now for this section, I believe on 2021 you could use the exit curb. Not sure if you can on this year's game, or if it will unsettle the car and lose you time. I've not really tried it, so maybe you can try it out for yourselves on time trial or something. But for now, just miss it and use all of the track, the actual tarmac itself. Now for this next corner, you're going to be in 6th gear, and pretty much just as this curbing is starting here, the grey part, not the red and white part, as soon as you touch that, or at least get close to it, that's where you want to start braking. Down into 3rd gear, and then you want to turn in a little bit later than you would think, just because you don't want to hit this inside sausage curb here, because that can really unsettle the car and lose you a lot of time. So yeah, avoid that, be as close to it as possible without touching it, and you want to do pretty much the same thing for this next corner. Now some people, they might use 3rd gear coming off of this corner. I tend to short shift up to 4th gear. Don't know if that's just because of a habit I've built from the previous games, But yeah, I short shift up the fourth gear for this corner. Again, you want to miss that sausage curb on the inside there. And then, as I said to you previously, when it comes to precision, you really want to get your car to the point where the right hand side of the car, the tires are on this grade strip, because that's where the most grip is, and that's what's going to gain you the most time going into this next corner as well. So again, very precise. This is things that you're really going to need to practice if you want to be consistent with it. Very deep braking into this corner. You're going to be in fifth gear. I think roughly around about this gray pole on the right hand side. You kind of can see it, but it's kind of like behind my graphics there. That's when you want to sort of brake into the corner, fourth gear. You'll see in the telemetry data that it's quite soft braking for these corners, because you really want to let the car roll in. For this next corner here, you want to keep the car more so to the left, but not fully to the left. Once again, light on the brakes. Then you want to just let the car roll through. Try and get your foot on the throttle as early as possible, because you're going to be flat out for this next left-hander here. So you want to be at this point flat out. Use all the track if necessary here on this grey, sort of like, not grey, this green AstroTurf or whatever, and then bring the car back onto the tarmac. You're going to be in sixth gear coming up to this next corner. Don't hit this curb. And then for this corner here, you're going to be lifting. What I tend to do is I tend to lift early so that I can get my foot back on the throttle earlier. That seems to help gain time up until the next braking zone. So yeah, just try and get your foot off the throttle as early as you can, and then get it back on the throttle as early as you can as well. Just obviously hugging this curbing here, using all the track on the exit without invalidating, of course, and then bring your car back onto the tarmac. This next corner, seventh gear, another heavy braking zone. This is actually another overtaking opportunity around the track. Usually it's a bit more difficult to do that, especially in league races, but I found that it is still possible to overtake around this section here, especially if you catch someone off guard. You can brake super deep into this corner, which is what makes it an overtaking opportunity as well. What I like to do is just brake a little bit earlier than the curb, because I feel like even though you can brake on the curb, if you brake a little bit earlier, it lets you get on the throttle a little bit earlier as well. So down into fourth gear, and then you pretty much want to have your right hand tires touching this grey curbing, well, the grey strip there. If not, you don't lose too much time, but it's just if you want to gain those thousandths, you know. And then once again on the exit, you want your left hand tires to be on this grey strip. Again, a lot of precision based exits here. It takes a lot of practice to be able to do that consistently. And then for this corner here, either just after the DHL branding or where the black box is, don't use the actual shadows, either use the board or the black box here. In fifth gear, light braking, down into third gear, let the car roll through the corner, be as tight as you can, and then stay in third, get your foot on the throttle, and then when you're almost flat, that's when you want to short shift up to, well, not short shift, but shift up to fourth, and then again up to fifth gear. For this last corner, you want to take it a bit differently to how you did at the beginning of the lap. When you get to the black box, as you pass it, so in between the black box and this white line, that's where you want to start braking. Down into fourth gear, probably maybe online, potentially even third gear, especially if you're on the mediums or the hard compounder tires, just simply due to the whole handling update. But if you have fixed your setups, then obviously it can help. So fourth gear, hug the corner as much as you can, and then get your foot back on the throttle. You can use the X-in curbing here if you want to, you don't have to though. And then that is pretty much a lap of the Hungaroring. So now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to show you a lap in real time so that you can see how I tackle the Hungaroring. And obviously you've seen the telemetry data, so that you can take a look at that. Pause the video if you need to and sort of compare it to your own telemetry data. Okay then guys, so that is how you tackle the Hungaroring. Now, for the announcement that I preluded to at the beginning of the video, here it is guys. What I'm going to be doing is, a lot of you have asked for the setups, where are the setups, why are there no spreadsheet? The spreadsheet is coming, but in a completely different way. I've decided to do this as sort of a live series. Now, the goal of this is for both you and for me to learn as much about setups as we possibly can together. So I'm going to be building the spreadsheet for you guys live. So starting Monday, a couple times a week, I'm going to be doing live streams where we go on a specific track. We'll do some time trial, we'll do some GP mode, we'll maybe even do some online sometimes as well, and really just spend a couple of hours tweaking a setup to use for the spreadsheet. So I hope that you guys do tune in for these. This is going to be very, very interesting, trying to build setup for you guys. I feel like if you guys have a lot more input in the spreadsheet as well, it feels more like a community spreadsheet that we can share around. So that's why I'm doing this. So Monday is when this is going to be starting, just after the Hungarian GP. So yeah, this is a pretty cool idea. And again, I hope to see as many of you guys for these live streams as possible, so that we can all help build a community spreadsheet together and learn just more about setups really. So that's going to be it for this Hungaroring track guide. I hope that it helps you with your weekly events, with your league races, with your my team stuff, and just improving your overall pace around this track. Make sure to let me know in the comment section how much time you were able to gain thanks to this track guide. Make sure to smash the like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stick around for those live streams, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.